Welcome to a podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Calvin, and joining me from a shallow grave that appears to be open. Oh my god, he's raising from the dead! It's Nick Richardson.
Brains. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
I can't
talking
do.
zombies today.
I can't do a good zombie brain. So well, most zombies can't talk. So any fucking movie or anything that does that's bullshit. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah, I got a lot of issues with zombies, but we're gonna dive into zombie apocalypse scenarios, just zombies in general. We're going kind of all in on zombies today, and breaking them down. I'm not a fan of zombies. I'm just gonna start off with that. I have some thoughts though. Don't worry, I'm not coming and just letting Nick go for an hour. Like, I've got some things to say.
Thank
I'm
God.
just like, the appeal of zombies has never been there for me. They're slow, they're boring. I don't get it.
Then you haven't seen the right zombies.
I
But
guess that must be it.
what I'll say is, I think everyone on Earth that is cognizant has probably thought about some kind of zombie apocalypse and what they do if that happened. Like, say you're watching Zombieland, it's like, you know what, fucking cardio is a good plan. It is a good idea. I'll save that for later. But I think everybody's thought about it at least once.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about that outside of preparing for this podcast here today.
Oh my god.
I've never been like, a dead person's gonna come up out of the ground. What would I do?
Well, it's not necessarily
my wheelhouse,
seriousness, but I mean, I guess I played like a lot of zombie games and seen a lot of movies, so it's just like, that's more believable to me.
I get it that like if you consume it a lot, then yeah, you're thinking about it. Like, I would think what would happen if there was a dragon around me, but never zombies.
Call of Duty Zombies? You never thought about a zombie apocalypse then?
By the time they had the zombie mode, I was out of my Call of Duty phase.
Damn.
I was an adult and had a job, and I think my first daughter was born already. So it was like, I couldn't play multiplayer Call of Duty anymore because you have to like literally just go all in on it to know the map. Because if you don't play it every day and learn the maps, you're just gonna get killed as soon as you get
all
into
the
a room.
time. I hated Call of Duty. I love zombies though, and
I was really good at Call of Duty, the first Modern Warfare, when I was in college, because I had a ton of spare time to sit there and memorize the maps and get good with different weapons and things like that. But then once job and kids and wife, like, that all goes out the window. Multiplayer games are hard at that point.
Yeah, I know how that is. I was really good at Halo once upon a time.
I was never good at Halo, but I loved playing it nevertheless.
Fuck yeah. Are you ready for Infinite? Listeners, if you're ready for Infinite, hit me up. I will talk Halo all fucking day with you guys.
Yeah, Halo. Sticky grenades and plasma needlers. That was my shit.
Dude, I read the books, which...
Oh, man.
The first...
Deep into Halo.
They have, like, they released the first 3 books, and 2 of them were, like, just stories they made up out of the blue, but they're so well written, and they are just so good. Just as, like, a standalone sci-fi novel, not even Halo related. But anyways, zombies.
That's not what we're here for today. We're here for zombies. Because I have very little zombie knowledge, I'm gonna let you lead this whole thing and take us down the path to where we kill the zombies.
Okay, so we're gonna start with something I like to call the festering swamp of crap that is Hollywood, and modern like literature and shit. So we're talking most believable scenarios we've seen on movies, comic books, or just regular books, and television. There's like 50 different zombie iterations on each medium. So I think we got quite a bit of a pool to come from, but I'll say for movies, the first one that I find believable, and this is what really got me into zombies, and I just really enjoyed the movies, was 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, which are so
I thought they were vampires. They're zombies?
No, well, the way they do it, and this is kind of why I find it
I've never seen either of
believable.
those movies, so
it's not zombies. I mean, they're still people, but they just have no, I don't know, they're rabid basically. So it's almost they're not undead, but they're super duper fast, like ridiculously fast, super violent, and they just are nonstop, and they eat flesh, and that's what sustains them. It's just crazy violent, and they have an opening scene, and I want to say 28 Weeks Later, where they're in this like cabin. Basically everything's blacked out. They're all hiding out, and they're having dinner. And this little boy comes to the door screaming and crying that they're after him. So they let him in, and then the house just starts getting mobbed by zombies, and everybody pretty much gets killed, except for
Look,
a
people,
dad.
if you're in a
Sorry,
zombie
go ahead.
movie, don't let people into your house.
Yeah, no,
Rule number
that's
one.
number one. So the guy,
Doesn't
have
matter
you
who
ever
they are.
seen Once Upon a Time?
The
TV
the
show.
Disney show thing.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, okay, the guy who plays Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's been in quite a bit of shit. But anyway, he leaves his wife and the little boy that came to the door behind as they get torn to pieces, and he's just dipping across this huge field, and a horde of zombies is following him. The way they play upon that, like how lethal they are, and it really helps with the vulnerability, the fear factor.
Yeah, I get that. My whole thing with zombies is that I I'm not afraid of them.
You haven't, like I said,
just
you
don't
haven't
let 'em
seen
in
the
the
right
house.
zombies, man.
Yeah, so what I went with for the most believable scenario in a movie, well, I had to wrap them all into one because I'll admit, never watched The Walking Dead. I mean, I guess as far as zombies on TV go, Game of Thrones is the closest thing I've gotten with the whites.
That's a good
Um,
iteration, like that quick
yeah.
mob mentality type deal. Yeah, that's a good iteration of zombie.
I've never read any zombie comics or books, so like I can only go with the few movies I've seen. And for most believable, I went with I Am Legend, and not necessarily how they turned out,
That's a
but
great pick.
the way they were made. So
Yeah.
like in my mind, the most likely scenario wouldn't be people rising up out of graves and attacking,
No.
Night of the Living Dead style. It's more this virus strain mutates and people just become brainless or singularly focused, something like that, where like there's something wrong mentally with them that turns them into this kind of non-feeling entity that goes after other people for whatever reason, or they
Well,
just snort bath salts.
Yeah, I mean, there's that and eat people's faces. Which is
Yeah.
super weird. Super
It's a
weird.
weird thing to do, only in
But-
Florida, people.
Yeah, no shit. But that's a damn good pick, man. I didn't even think of I Am Legend when I thought it, but that's a good way to say it. They kind of have that singular focus. It was almost like it took them back to our initial stages of Homo sapien, where all we thought about was reproduction, food, and light, basically.
Well, except
bad
they were
people
scared of the light.
Well, yeah. Well, they occupied
Well,
the
they-
darkness, but
Yeah, they would get killed by the light, really.
which is weird. I never really understood that, but hey. But hey,
I think it was the sun. Like they didn't have skin really, so they would just like sunburn basically in any form of light.
sounds
I
like
believe
me.
is what was going on with them. You
Sounds
have no
like me.
skin. It's a rough
No,
way to
I
live.
don't. I mean, I figured out this new technology to talk without lips, but hey. Taking donations on my GoFund. Oh my god.
Get Nick some lips. Hashtag get Nick some lips.
If you've ever seen a picture of me, I have stupid big lips for a white dude. It's like, fuck man. I looked at a picture of myself as a baby the other day, and I just looked like this big stupid idiot. So yeah,
Well, we're sorry to hear that. We're gonna need that picture also posted to Twitter of you looking like a big stupid idiot as a baby.
I will post it, man, because I don't care, and I'm game to give people some laughs. It's cool. What's weird about the zombie industry though is a lot of the movies that the masses have seen are inspired by books or comic books.
Mhm.
So, The Walking Dead is one you mentioned, of course. And then World War Z, which I didn't know was a book, but apparently it's a really, really good book.
I think with the zombie genre, it works better in a more passive medium like books or even comic books, just because like you said, it can play into that fear in your mind a little bit more, because when they come out on screen, especially a lot of the older cheesy zombie movies, like it doesn't live up to what you would picture in your mind if you're just reading the story and like you are reading about hordes and hordes of things attacking. That you envision that different than what it looks like on a screen, and when it is on a screen, you don't necessarily feel the same type of fear. At least I wouldn't.
Well, exactly. I mean, the way they did those old school ones is slow and just really, really dumb. It's not very scary. And
Especially on TV or movies, but like
yeah.
in a book, I think that
Oh
could still,
yeah.
because it would be, they would play it as more suspenseful than like horrifying, I guess.
Well, our imaginations are fantastic, and when you
Yeah.
have a great storyteller like George R. R. Martin, he made the whites sound terrifying. Like honestly, when I first saw them on screen, it's just like, yeah, I honestly
Yeah, they're dead,
prefer
but I mean that
his
chapter, the
depiction.
Hard Home chapter in I want to say it's not Dance with Dragons, Feast for Crows, I think it is. When it's nobody actually goes to Hard Home. It's John gets a letter from the person he sent there, Cotter Pike, and it's just describing these things coming out of the water and ice spiders and the dead coming to life and just basically engulfing everything. And like, that's, to me, that was much scarier than watching them fall off the cliff, and or much more intimidating, I guess, than watching them fall off the cliff and then just kind of run aimlessly at their enemies.
After, yeah, and just slashing and hacking.
Yeah.
The
Now
fact
the
they
cool
got
thing of
swords.
the Night King raising them, that was pretty dope, but
Look, like I said on Twitter, prophecies.
yeah, that turned out to mean nothing though. Don't worry about that.
Well, no, but so I guess comic book medium. I've never read
Yeah.
a zombie book other than a Game of Thrones, if you want to call it that. Walking Dead. I don't know, honestly, if it's done right on a movie or TV, because it's scenes of zombies moving and then someone getting their face ripped off, and then so it doesn't really count. But I got a lot of really good, ideas from The Walking Dead, especially with what I would do to survive, and I think they did a good depiction of kind of how it would be.
Yeah, how the people would, if this is a society that's going to sustain itself, how would they do that?
Yeah, how would they go
It's not
about it? And
necessarily about
just
the zombies, it's about the people. And I think that's a lot of people's problem with the show now, is it's become more jump scares and let's just kill someone for the sake of killing someone, when in the beginning it was more that, well, how do these people survive in a world that's unsurvivable? And now it's just become this thing of like, well, let's see if we can outdo what we did last week, or let's see if we can outdo what Game of Thrones did last season. And so a lot of
yeah,
people are off of The Walking Dead.
I haven't watched it
I've never
since
been
like
on it,
season
so
4. Well, I had to, man. I was a big comic book reader,
yeah, I get that.
and I thought it was a super white. They've never had, well, I think they've had maybe one color issue. So it was just really, really different, and so I always thought it stood head and shoulders above the show, and I guess that's kind of why I saw it as a more believable scenario,
Yeah,
especially with the played up, personal issues.
yeah, that makes sense. I get that. And then I will say, going back to Game of Thrones real quick, the one actually truly terrifying thing that the show did was the first attack on like Jojen and
Yeah.
Bran and Mira when they got to
Hmm.
Bloodraven's tree. When they first got there, season 4, I want to say, the finale of that, when they just popped out of the ice everywhere and started,
No,
dragging Jojen back under and all that. Like, that had me on the edge of my seat, but none of the other scenes with the whites really
what do
did
you think
anything
about
for
that?
me.
So I'm guessing you've only seen a Game of Thrones when it comes to zombie television.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yep.
Check out Z Nation, man. It's actually a really good
Z
television
Nation.
show.
I've seen a lot, because I watched The Flash and Arrow. I've seen a lot of promos for iZombie, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. That looked really dumb. Mostly because she.
I've heard a lot of people say it's pretty good.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I might have to check it out. I'm not into the whole, blood all over your face, holding brain shit. It's like, get off my TV.
Well, so the take for iZombie, and I thought this was one of the more interesting zombie takes that I had seen, was that she works in a morgue, and she has to, instead of going after, she's a zombie, I guess, and instead of going after live people, she gets the fresh dead bodies and eats their brains, or whatever it is. So like, it's almost like Twilightifying it, where they don't attack other
Twilight.
in a general sense, not basically that the main vampires from Twilight, they didn't attack other humans, they would only hunt animals and things like that.
Oh, I know, man. I read those books too.
But it's kind of the same thing as she's finding a humane way to be a zombie kind of thing, and trying to like actually interact with real people.
I'm just curious why there's that isolated incident. That would probably
Yeah,
make
I
it
don't
more
know.
interesting to watch.
It's like 5 seasons in. I haven't watched any of it, but maybe it's not an isolated incident. Who knows? I'd probably have to watch the show to learn more about it.
Probably.
It's usually a good idea to watch a show before speculating wildly on it.
I don't know, man.
Shout out to
well,
Much Review About Nothing, who is a movie podcast that reviews movies they haven't seen. They review them just based on what they've like heard in the media or read on social media, things like that. Like that's all they do, and they try and figure out what the movie's about and if they would like it or not. It's a great podcast.
Sounds awesome. We'd have to check that out. But I mentioned Z Nation earlier. If you get a chance, check. It's on Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
And it's just really on. Yeah, it's on Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
It's just really different. It's kind of a comedy horror, I guess, but it follows a group of people 3 years after the apocalypse or something. But there's this guy named Murphy who was basically a prisoner, and with these two other cats, and they were doing experiments on him, testing vaccines, and he ended up getting the antibodies to, not be a zombie.
Right.
So he's basically infected without being a zombie, but he's slowly decomposing and slowly looking more like a zombie. But I just kind of, I'm a weird guy. I think the government is definitely up to some weird shit, as we talked before in Psychological Experiments episode. But I could totally see something like this happening, just an experiment gone wrong, or gene editing gone wrong, or just something, crossbreeding or splicing of something. I honestly could see, maybe something has come out of it, and they've just kind of killed it really quick.
Hey, that's what the face-eating guy in Miami was. He wasn't actually on bath salts. That's just what they blamed it on.
It's a prototype.
Yep.
He got free of the lab.
He was actually crossbred with a Florida Panther. Rough stuff.
God, sounds lethal, man.
And an alligator.
I mean, they go right for the face, so they mean business.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds lethal. And speaking of lethal, what's the most lethal form of zombie you've seen in pop culture?
So for me, it was, and I haven't actually seen this movie, but just from the trailers and everything else that I know about it, would like the guys from World War Z, where they're fast and they're just overwhelming. And it's just, and a little bit, the Whites have that a little bit in Game of Thrones too, of just this unstoppable onslaught where you're more likely to be overwhelmed and trampled than turned into a zombie yourself.
But yeah, and just or kind of ripped to pieces within the massive movement. And the way I looked at it is like the least, I don't know how I want to say it. The zombie I'd least want to run into, just based on lethality. I also put World War Z because they share that characteristic of having a hive mind.
Oh, okay.
So they all
once one sees you, the rest of them will come running.
Well, they show it in a way that I thought was really fascinating in World War Z. They basically start piling up on top of each other to get into the walls of, I want to say the walls of Jericho in Jerusalem, where they
yeah, and that's the shot in the trailer and on the posters and everything.
Yeah, I found that super intimidating. I'd be terrified if I saw that shit. Like, okay, I'm behind a wall, I'm good. We have a lot of people here. We have guns. We have helicopters and all that good shit. We're cool. And then they just start coming up over the rafters.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the same thing we see in Game of Thrones with the Whites in the final season, where, they set the fire to keep them at bay, and they just decide
and do shit.
The front line's just going to fall on that fire and trample it out pretty quickly.
So that hive mind mentality, I think that
it doesn't matter if we sacrifice a few, because the majority will still get through.
We have crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah, that's always to me the most effective. And just if you've got if you're one-on-one with a zombie like that, he's not that hard to beat. Come on.
Depends on the zombie. Depends on the zombie. Hopefully, I hope to God you're not walking by, what is it, Snap Fitness or something while you're doing that. All the jacked meathead zombies come running out after you, chasing you down.
I mean, they're going to run out of energy pretty quickly because their muscles aren't metabolizing and things like that. So I'm not too worried about
Calvin with the science.
Oh, we'll get into
We're
it
living
in a
in the
few
world
minutes.
of zombies, bro.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Oh, shit. But if I had a zombie I could run into, it would probably be the ones from, if I had my preference, from Shaun of the Dead, because they're so slow and so dumb.
Yeah, any
And
of the slow
they kind of
dumb
played
ones,
into that trope.
I'm right there with you.
Fuck yeah, if you can get any spacing, and I guess those are lethal in big numbers, they can get their hands on you, but god damn it. Give me a big sword or something cool, and I'll be cool. I'll go to town. I will thrive in zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
world.
they're not sneak attacking you either. These slow moving dumb zombies, like they're not hiding behind something and jumping out at you. Like they're just like sauntering along until they
Yeah,
get
they're
stabbed.
cruising. Yep, no shit. It's like, oh, we're just gonna walk around because that's what we do. We're zombies in orderly fashion, no less. But
I don't know that it's orderly.
think-
It's more like they're just converging on a point, which happens to be just one single person for whatever reason. In all these movies, like you see the big groups of zombies, like there's 50 zombies just converging on this one guy as slow as possible. Like there's no other people that you guys can go after. You're all gonna go after this one guy with a shotgun. No shit, you're all gonna die.
yeah, there's that. But I mean, what else are they doing before they chase after this cat? You know, are they just like, do they just stand there?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, what are
that's a good
zombies
question.
doing in their free time? Does anyone know?
Sudoku. I'm going with Sudoku.
I don't think they can figure it out. I can't even figure out Sudoku. I don't think a zombie's getting that shit. I think they're just like, I don't know, man. Maybe playing rock, paper, scissors? Trying out new cuisines? Like, do they try and eat flowers? Do they see a deer and go after him?
Nah, they're meat eaters only. They're just like, well,
Well,
deer
deer
maybe,
would be
but they
meat.
look at that flowers. They're just probably like, yeah, fuck that green shit. I don't want any. I want
I
vegetables.
feel you, zombies. I feel you.
Yeah, I don't like green stuff either. I really, really
So
don't.
we've got that in common with the zombies, at least.
That's true. Dude, we're almost zombies. Almost fucking zombies.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's true. I can't get with you on that point.
Yeah. But I think you make several good points about zombies in general, which is...
I mean, I've got more good points when we get there. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's just play some, devil's advocate here. If it was possible, if it could happen, what would you think would actually cause it?
Like I said, with the I Am Legend type thing, where it's just this mutated strain of a disease, something like that, or like you were saying, maybe bioengineering gone wrong. I think it would be something like that. I don't think just out of nowhere people are going to Night of the Living Dead up out of the ground. It would have to be live people somehow mentally breaking into
Zombies
not
type
mentally
shit.
stable.
So you're talking airborne
Zombies.
pathogen
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
And wasn't that how they did it in Ireland?
Potentially.
Wasn't it an airborne pathogen? And they could change physically as well?
I think so. Well, I think it started as blood, and then it eventually
I
mutated
think
into airborne. Yeah,
airborne would probably be really the only way to do it.
It would have to be
because
airborne.
I don't foresee it causing
Yeah.
an apocalypse. Like, society is too well ingrained to fall apart that quickly.
Yeah, one of the points that I was going to make a little later, but I'll make it here, is biting is just a super inefficient
No
way of
kidding.
spreading a disease. You have to get way too close to somebody. You have to get your teeth around them somehow. You have to bite hard enough to draw blood and get saliva mixed with that blood. It's super ineffective if the only way you can spread it is through biting or even blood on blood contact or sexual contact. Like nobody is seeing a zombie and going have sex with
Bullshit,
them.
dude. I bet there's
I don't
someone out
think.
there.
Well, I mean,
Wouldn't
yeah,
that
there
be
would be
the
some
worst?
weirdos out there.
Gotta
Yeah, there would be
fucking
some
contain
weirdos.
these zombie people.
But that's a personal choice. Like, you're taking that chance that you're gonna turn. It's like if you know someone has AIDS, you can't tell by looking at someone necessarily that they have HIV or AIDS. But if they tell you, then you're
True,
taking that
but
chance.
a zombie
now.
is not liable to
You
tell
know.
you.
Whereas with a zombie, you can usually tell that that person is a zombie.
I don't know. It might be the stink that gives them away.
And most people in the world would say, I don't want to fuck the zombie.
Yeah, I'd say a good 98% of them. But there's a bunch of those creepy people out there.
Hit us on Twitter if you would fuck the zombie.
Yeah, I don't
Actually,
wanna,
don't.
No, I don't even.
I
I
don't.
wouldn't even respond to that. I'd be like, all right, man, cool.
No. Good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Nice knowing
I
you.
should probably call all. Where are you from? I should call all your local cemeteries. Let them know what's up.
Yeah.
Let them know. Yeah, I mean, efficiency is a big deal when it comes to like zombies. Honestly.
Oh, you know what's another good zombie from a movie? The Inferi. Well, it was more from books, from Harry Potter. They were controlled by Voldemort. They were in the cave, in the water in the cave.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, dude.
Those are basically zombies. They're raised dead that all respond to Voldemort, pretty much.
That is good too.
Yeah. Because that would be one of those that would be overwhelming. That's what happens in Harry Potter. They get overwhelmed by them and they try and drag them into the water where they'll die.
Scary. That'd be scary.
Shout out Harry Potter zombies.
Shout out. One of those actors is out there like, finally some love. Thank God. Or one of those CGI creations.
I think they're all CGI.
Well, there might have been like one model, maybe. Andy Serkis was probably in that too. Bastard.
I think he was.
Totally being.
I don't think they were doing any
jokester.
mocap there.
Probably not. But I don't foresee. Yeah, it just happened too quickly. Too many people have guns and shit, man. Like everybody has big knives, big swords, big guns. I mean, in America especially, I think we'd be straight. I think we would be beyond fine.
That was kind of my thought and a lot of this, there is a video, it's an old crack.com video back when they made good videos and had like a pretty good website. They don't really anymore. It's called Why Zombie Apocalypse Would Fail Quickly. I'll link it in the show notes.
I think I've read that article on Cracked.
I thought it was an article, but I couldn't find the article. All I kept finding was the video, which, I mean, it says the same thing. But basically, anything that happened, it would be contained very quickly. First of all, because biting is a very bad way to spread disease. Do you remember the Ebola outbreak from a few years ago?
Did you ever read The Hot Zone?
And how that just dropped off the face of the earth? Well, it just dropped off the face of the earth after, 3 weeks? Just because, as soon as doctors realize this shit happens, they're pretty good at quarantining these things.
Treating it, and I'm sure there's plenty of cases of people they just let go. And, if they're too far gone and they're spreading shit, but that's a really, really good point.
I mean, but you got to think of how many people would get the strain of the disease first. And if you can only spread it through biting, how far is that going to go? If it is airborne, then it's a little bit more difficult. But I feel like with a disease like that, it wouldn't be airborne right off the bat. It would have to mutate in some way. And I think that could be quarantined and contained quickly enough to stop that.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, most viruses are not that volatile, and it'd have to be a virus in that form.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that'd be intense.
I mean, even in TVs and movies, it takes huge leaps in logic to get people into positions to be bitten and turned into other zombies. There's always the heroes always make it out okay because it's hard to put them in actual danger with zombies, because it's really easy to get away from zombies if the only way they can harm you is by biting or hitting you.
Yeah.
The zombies are never using their own weapons. So they're all just chasing after you, trying to catch you. You go in a room, you hit it with something. There's so many ways to get around a slow moving dead person.
I can't picture slow moving zombies in my head when I think about it. I'm still thinking.
Even fast moving zombies, you go in a room. If you have any type of head start, which you would because they can't think, they don't know where you are, you just go inside somewhere and they can't get in.
Yeah.
Maybe they can break a window. Okay, that's going to hurt them more. That's going to start tearing the flesh off. They don't bleed. I guess. But okay, you go in a corporate building that has bulletproof windows. They're not breaking that.
Down? Or out.
You wait. Like, these guys are going to decompose eventually.
Eventually, I mean, you'll die.
Like,
You'll die
they're
of
zombies.
starvation and
They
thirst long before.
They have no blood pumping through their veins. They have nothing to sustain. The sun is beating down on them, killing them with every second.
Especially in Florida, dude.
Like,
Hopefully they got long sleeves and hats.
What are they gonna do?
Cook. You're just gonna walk out the
Do you
next
know how
day.
fast you're already dead? If blood is not running through your veins, decomposition happens very, very quickly. The only reason that we're not decomposing is because we have blood running through our veins and we're breathing. Zombies aren't doing that.
Well, what?
I just go in a building and wait a couple
there's
hours. Make sure you pick a building with a cafeteria
Let me
in
throw
it.
you a
You're
wild
good.
card. Special breed of zombie. Their blood is formaldehyde, so they
Okay.
not only stink, but they don't decompose as fast. What then? Same thing.
Their
My
outside would
plan
still
does not
decompose. Like their skin and their bones would still decompose.
I'll be slowly.
What happens to a zombie in a blizzard? Like, he's not walking anywhere in a blizzard. Come on now. What if it's 100 degrees outside? That zombie's not doing anything. He's dead
chilling
within
in
an
the
hour.
shade. Well, he's already dead. That's the point.
Well, he's more dead within an hour.
So we're gonna have the zombie apocalypse. It's gonna last like 45 minutes. Just sit out.
Pretty much. That's
Red
what I'm
alert,
getting
stay
at here.
inside. Yeah, I can see.
The 100 zombies that are out there will either get shot or the sun will beat down on them for an hour and they'll be gone.
Maybe in Florida, dude. I don't know.
Okay, fine. In
Well, the southern United
anywhere
States.
else, the snow will kill them. They'll freeze in place because they have no blood pumping through their veins to keep their bodies warm. So they'll just freeze. You're not winning this. The zombie apocalypse is not.
Oh,
coming.
I'm not saying it is, but I do like hearing your explanations.
We would stop
fuck
it very
yeah.
quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, this is I keep thinking, like, if zombies occurred in Siberia, it would be more like a slow burn. Yeah, but the cold, yeah, this is
Yeah, they'd have to have some White Walker magic keeping them
well, there
going.
you go. They got white marks.
I don't think the White Walkers exist in Siberia. I don't know. I haven't been there.
No one's defeated Mother Russia on their own soil. Well, that's not true, but mostly true.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know actually.
Mostly. None of the big people have.
And again, just get everybody in a building. Nice building, strong windows. As long as you don't open the door, you're safe.
And I mean, that's my game plan.
The one guy that sneaks in with you, trust me, he'll get stomped to death pretty quickly. To more death.
I just
Wait, I got one more point on this. What about wildlife?
What about wildlife?
You don't think these guys are going to get attacked by dogs, wolves, any type of large cat, mountain lions, panthers, lions, anything like that? Vultures would be just swarming these zombies.
Yeah, but there's not
Right?
nearly enough vultures, panthers, wildcats, and bears and stuff like that in the wild anymore to do that.
Oh, but they still exist, and they would help
They
us
pick
take
them
care
off
of the
one
zombies.
by one eventually, but that'll take at least 100 years for their populations to rise enough to do a dent.
I mean, they don't have to. They don't have to fully devour them. They just have to slow them down for a little bit till
But
somebody
still,
can
even
shoot.
if like a third of the population of the United States, so what, 111 million or something like that.
How are 111 million people getting infected with a disease? That many people don't even get the flu every year. I have nothing to back that up. I'm gonna Google it.
You sounded so convincing. I have to
I
find out.
But seriously, how are these people getting infected?
This is an actual question that popped up. 9.3 to 49 million. That is
Okay,
not nearly.
so-
we'll say
No,
it's
no.
airborne.
So let's say 10 million.
So we say it's airborne.
Okay.
I think 100 million plus is definitely a little more logical.
The flu is airborne. The flu's airborne. Only 10 million people get infected.
But we also have
And
immunization.
everybody has the flu.
And antibacterial.
Oh, you're saying 100 million worldwide.
No, I'm saying 100 million in the United States. I'm
No.
sticking to that.
No
So
way.
this-
No way it would
This
get to
is
that
just our
many people.
control. How long would it take the remaining 200 million people to take out that 100 million? How?
Look, 25 minutes?
I don't know about that. Well, yeah, you got grandma down the street packing, so that sounds right.
Yeah, she'll take out at least 1,500 of them.
That'd be fucking hilarious. You
You got all kinds of wildlife attacking dead bodies. Like, wildlife knows when things are dead, man. They're just gonna go after
They
them.
don't just always eat it. I mean, if they're desperate for food, yeah. But most carnivores aren't, you know, what is it? They don't eat dead shit. I was thinking of that.
They have to kill things before they eat
Yeah,
it.
but if it's rotting, it's rotting.
I guess, but if we're talking about in the first couple of weeks when these aren't rotting, apparently, according to you,
No,
they don't rot
according
for
to you,
however.
they're rotting immediately.
Well, that's true.
So we got
They
rotting
would
stuff that's, not being killed by wild.
Vultures like to eat rotten stuff.
And
I don't know what that means.
well, I was gonna say there's not that many.
Oh, what else? Oh yeah, hyenas. They aren't really native to the U.S. First of all, I don't think 100 million people in the U.S. are getting infected. Like, you would stay away from the dude who is decaying. Like, you see somebody's skin falling off, you're not going near that guy.
Well, let's say I'm going with the line that it spreads rapidly. It's airborne, and it would be a new disease per se. So we have no research. I mean, we can predict the goddamn flu season. Like we genuinely know how bad it's going to be.
That takes me back to, remember the Ebola outbreak from 3 years ago where 3 fucking people got infected? And everybody was all worried because there's not a vaccine for it. Oh no, what are we going to do? They got on a plane, all those people on the plane, they're going to infect 1 million other people. 3 fucking people ended with it. 1 of them died, that's it.
But
it was contained.
We've also known about that disease since like 1986.
Okay, again, you see the dude rotting, somebody's going to detain him.
But I'm saying if this happens in a week, how would you know how would you know what the fuck is going on? If you see some dude rotting, someone's got to do it.
You wouldn't, you'd call the police.
And they got to do it.
Yeah, you call the police.
What are they going to do? Most police aren't
the
with a respirator.
The police officer who arrests him also gets quarantined so he can't spread the disease to anyone else. Like, airborne things, you have to be still in a enclosed scenario. Like, if somebody who's infected with an airborne disease just breathes out into the open air, nobody else, like if you're out at a park, let's say, and somebody's sick at a park and they're breathing, like nobody else at the park is going to get that sickness just for breathing the same air. Like, you have to be in a closed proximity.
Relatively.
Like, they have to cough on you or something.
Well, I think most of those pathogens die with contact with oxygen, correct?
Fucking I know, I'm no scientist.
I'm making huge...
Yeah, we're making a lot of things. We're just making a lot of assumptions here.
But I think this conversation is valid. I will say that. At least
I agree that it's a valid conversation. I disagree that you're right. Get at us on Twitter.
Let us...
How would the zombie apocalypse go? Would it be an apocalypse, or...
I'm not saying it's going to be an apocalypse. I just don't...
How many people... Alright, on Twitter, how many people do you think would be infected by zombies if a quote-unquote outbreak occurred? 100 million or much, much less than 100 million?
Well, we got to have some controls there. That's just not fair, because I will lose every time.
It's got to be 100 million exactly, or anything less than that. Those are the only 2 options.
I would have loved the flu thing to say 101 million, or like 100.5 million or something here.
Not even close.
I would have felt so vindicated.
All right, I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this conversation. It's great that we're having it, but I think we both said our piece and we're not convincing the other one.
No, I think we'll leave it at that. So,
yeah, we'll agree to disagree here. Get at us on Twitter at APA something at alone _ podcast. Let us know what you think. How would we deal with these zombies?
Please do. What's your game plan, guys? I mean, a lot of people told us today, which we'll get to later. But if we're talking...
Well, we didn't talk about society, though. What would society do in this event?
I think that kind of goes hand in hand with, general apocalypse talk.
Yeah, it depends if, there's actually a threat, which there's not.
I think society
would
freak the fuck out. Like, you talked about Ebola. People were going bananas. I remember reading The Hot Zone in high school.
Remember SARS?
Oh, my God, yeah. Well, fuck, dude, I remember growing up, and it was at that, like, the tail end of the, AIDS epidemic. So,
yep.
People are still talking about it like crazy, and, shit, everybody was scared. You didn't want to be the gay dude.
Oh, yeah, I remember in elementary school, like, probably from 3rd grade to 6th grade, at least once or twice a year, we'd have to watch the AIDS bloodborne pathogen video of like, don't fucking touch people if they're bleeding thing. Anybody could have AIDS. It's everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere,
like,
man. Everybody's got it.
Yeah, we're in 3rd grade. I think we're safe.
Shit, dude, they're showing sex education videos in like 4th grade now.
That's okay.
I feel like
If they have valid information, which they probably don't. So it's okay to learn things.
it is, but as a 4th grader, I was not prepared to look at animated dongs.
No, see that's rough. I would say, I don't know that you need sex education videos, but I think some form of sex education could be beneficial at that age. What's that, 10, 11, right? 4th grade?
Something like that, yeah.
I think you need to know that things are going on and that diseases could spread and pregnancy is a thing that happens. But I don't know that videos need to be involved in it.
No, or the word penis. I'll say that. Can't concentrate as a 4th grader when some old
Yeah, that's
penis.
true. Yeah. It's a rough word for 4th graders. Yeah, I agree though that society would just go bananas if somebody mentioned the word zombie and like in a real life scenario.
Oh yeah.
But again, I don't think it would last very long because, again, with Ebola, like 3 weeks, nobody cared about it anymore.
Pretty much.
Even if it was an ongoing thing where 100 million people are getting infected, people would still just move on from it. There would be your crazies who are hunkering down in their bunkers and, they're like, I told you I got stocked up all my cans of soup.
Yeah.
I got them.
I'm eating cream corn for the next 32 years.
For the most part, people would just go back to watching the Kardashians. Especially if one of the Kardashians got infected. Then everybody would be on that shit.
I'd be on that shit. I'd be watching it like crazy.
It might be worthwhile, yeah.
Just like, if I could see Kim Kardashian eat the rest of her family, just destroy them.
No, it wouldn't be Kim. It would be the mom.
Be Rob.
The mom she's low key gonna
like
be the one to
there.
murder everyone else.
Zombie Karen. Oh my god.
I think her name's Chris.
I know, but you know what I mean by Karen with the Karen haircut.
Yes.
I need to see your manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst.
I got you.
That'd be the worst.
General Karen.
I would just honestly, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I would just do they have Shields where you live? It's like a sports store.
Oh, the sporting goods store. I worked for Shields for like a week and a half one time when I lived in Wisconsin, but no, they don't have them down here. They have Dick's.
Yeah, we have Dick's too.
Yeah, I know Shields.
But I would just go to Shields, dude. I'd just hang out there. Yeah, they have like this
that'd be the place to be.
Diorama thing it's probably like 20 foot tall, but it's a bunch of old fake animals on it, and it's supposed to be the woods. So I'll just get to the top, get me a sniper rifle, and
I mean, you got a lot of weaponry there to choose from.
I do.
You got a lot of close quarter baseball bats, golf clubs, tennis rackets, all that good stuff. If you really want to, get in the weeds with it, you got guns, I'm sure.
Tons of guns.
And it's also, stores like that are very heavily fortified. As I said, I worked in one for a week and a half at one point, and they've got like these. At least this one did. It had a second floor where in the back everything was concrete walls, and they had these kind of concrete rooms. The employee rooms and offices and things were all just solid concrete block that were, that's pretty heavily fortified. That's your zombies are going to have a tough time getting through there.
Yeah, no shit. And what's another cool thing is most Shields have cafeterias. So there's your food.
Or they're in a mall with a food court.
Yeah. Our Shields is just gigantic. It's basically the size of our mall.
It's a good store.
It has a huge Ferris wheel inside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking huge. So, I mean, I'm good. And they have an arcade, too, so I'm going to Shields.
Yeah, that's a good plan. But, yeah, that same with me. I would go somewhere. I wouldn't freak out. I'd probably just be like, all right, cool. Let's go to a building that has food and is pretty solid.
Yeah. Let's go to a
mall.
The FBI building.
Do they have a cafeteria in the FBI building?
They do.
I'd probably go to my wife's work actually because they have really good cafeteria, and they've got it's a solid building. So
my wife's work cafeteria sucks.
And it's not far away either. So be an easy trip.
Yeah,
Plus we forgot. I didn't even mention how easy is it to run over these zombies with a car, man.
I don't know, man.
Like, come on.
I don't know how well a Tesla can take a 200-pound zombie to the front end.
Why do you need a Tesla?
Because it's fast.
Take my Jeep out there.
I got a Ford Edge.
Take down 15 of them real quick.
All-wheel drive. But I mean,
These
eventually,
zombies, man, they wouldn't stand a chance.
fuck no. Not in the land, land of the free and the home of the brave. We would fight back.
No, the guys with the big ass trucks and 75 guns in the back of those trucks, they'd handle it.
Yeah, and
Plus, we have a military.
They come out there, guns blazing. My dick is so big.
Let's not forget about the actual military who would be helping.
I don't know, man. I know quite a few National Guardsmen, and I wouldn't trust my life in their hands, even if you pay
You don't
me.
need to trust your life. You just have to trust that they can kill a slow-moving zombie.
I don't trust that they could kill a slow-moving zombie. I don't. I don't think they could eat a burrito without spilling it all over themselves.
Well, we won't call that team of the National Guard in. We'll call the good ones. I mean, all hands would be on deck for this scenario, I would think.
We need to get some North Dakotans. Shout out you guys. They're pretty solid. Utah people.
I guess. I don't know why they're the A team.
Because I don't know. That's just...
The Canadians would come down to help. They're helpful people.
They are very helpful. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't see it going very far. I'm sorry.
Honestly, with all the weapons, though, we talked about, like at Shields or Sporting Goods store, there's a very specific one I have in mind as my, like, number one go-to if zombies came to be fast or slow.
Battle axe.
No. That'd be dope.
Not a Robert Baratheon battle axe.
Warhammer?
Oh, he had a Warhammer. Shit.
Come on, Ice and Fire guy.
Come
on, guy.
Yeah, that's on me.
No.
Who had a battle axe? Tyrion had a battle axe.
Yep.
My bad.
I would go to, at the Field Museum, they used to have, like, a William Wallace style sword. I'll go get that shit. No, I wouldn't really. But in my old job...
That would be you'd get bit a lot trying to fight
fast. That thing was like
sword.
8 foot tall. It looked like, I mean, I was young the last time I saw it. It's the fucking Field Museum, dude. They took down their arms and armor section. And it's like 2 exhibits. And if you've never been there, it takes like 4.5 hours, 5 hours to get through the arms and armor section. And when I went back last time, it took like 3 minutes with my wife after I talked it up to her. I'm like, this is great. You'll see William Wallace's sword. Here's a
shield and here's a gun.
Well, that's
all we
exactly.
have
and like a couple dinky swords. And I asked the lady there, I'm like, hey, when does it come back? And she's like, it'll probably be about 10 years. Just so casually. And I'm like, 10 fucking years? Are you serious? Well, yeah, they got to restore everything and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, fuck you guys. I was wanting William Wallace's sword to fight zombies, but now
I don't have it.
Now I just got to go
to my old work.
Ruined it. We had, there's this string trimmer or a weed whacker, if people haven't heard of string trimmers, which is common around here, I guess. But it was called the MS-130, and this thing was so powerful. Like, if you spun it too quickly, it's like the revving of the engine's momentum would carry you. And it had this saw blade on the edge of it, so you'd go down with it, and you'd hack down like 3-inch in diameter trees, and just it hacked everything to pieces. And that's what I'd fucking get. That thing was so nasty, man. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I mean, I'm gonna stick with just the weather, the sun. Let those do the work for me.
No, I'm not gonna let you just choose the sun, sir. You have to pick something.
The sun is the greatest weapon we have. No, I agree with you. Maybe one of those, like the long chainsaw, like the long-handled chainsaws that you use to trim like high-up tree branches.
Dude, those are so heavy.
I think one of those would be good.
Those are so heavy.
That's okay. You got reach with it though. You don't want a regular chainsaw that's right next to you. You got to have one that's out there that you got an 8-foot reach on it.
You need something with some ass.
And the zombies can't bite you.
That's true. But the blades on them are like 4
you need
inches
something
long.
You need something that the zombie can't bite you. You got to keep them at bay.
What do you think about Daryl Dixon's crossbow from The Walking Dead?
I don't know who that is. Nah, it takes too long to reload. If you miss, that zombie's got you.
He somehow lived longer than everybody else.
Well, I don't think The Walking Dead is actually very realistic.
Don't you say that about my favorite TV show ever. I live and breathe The Walking Dead, bro. Live and breathe it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I need to get a life.
No, I think I'd go with a long chainsaw. Maybe a throwing star.
A couple throws.
I
would have.
That would take a lot of practice.
I would sit there and make noises. I'm like, what? And just kind of act like a fool. I used to have throwing stars as a kid, but my dad took them away from me. And now I hope a zombie
It's
apocalypse
probably not a good
happens.
thing for a kid to have.
Well,
Your dad will be prepared. He's got his throwing stars.
he's got all kinds of cool shit that he took from me. That'd be a plethora.
He would be prepared.
Just call my dad, be like, Dad, I need all the crap you confiscated. Please. It's for a really big deal. It's serious.
Hit us on Twitter if you have a better weapon than the massive weed whacker or the long 8-foot long extendable chainsaw.
Something that's not motorized, preferably. So I want to throw a wrench in our plan here. What would you use if there was no gasoline left?
An electric, really long chainsaw.
That's not.
Does that not count?
Powered by solar power from the sun, which is also your most valuable weapon.
Which is already which is already killing the zombies.
Okay,
now it's helping me.
Handheld weapon. Go.
That's a tough one. You go first. I gotta think on it. I wasn't prepared for this. I mean, the sun was my weapon. Like, obviously, I'm not prepared.
I guess
for
it's
this.
handheld. I would pick a mirror just so I could focus the sun.
Magnifying glass, maybe.
Yes, a big one.
Like their ants.
I'd go to my great grandma's house and I'd be like, Grandma, I need your glasses and the magnifying glass you use to read the remote. I need it right now. You don't get to ask why. And then I'd take out all the zombies, utilizing the sun because that would kill them all. And I don't know where I got that idea.
It's a good idea, though. I hear.
I don't know.
It would be the best way to let them die. I think I would lean more towards an axe than a sword. And again, the throwing stars, obviously.
Axes are heavy. You gotta have the throwing stars. I'd probably just use Molotov cocktails on a lot of them.
That would be good. Yeah.
Unless you're inside.
Some type of grenade.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, some type of grenade, rocket launcher type thing. Yeah. Nothing that you have to go hand to hand with.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I feel like that's the precipice of all these zombie movies and shit, is a lot of the, gas is gone almost. But there's
right.
so much
that's
oil
what I
and
mean.
gas
They have to take these huge leaps to get to a point where it makes sense to be fighting a zombie with a knife instead of just being like, oh, hey, here's my pistol, bang. All right, see you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like, so
there's so much ammo.
That always happens in these zombies movies. Yeah, it always happens. It's like, oh well, the government took our guns away 6 years ago, and we have no way to protect ourselves, and all the gas ran out in like a week somehow, and we just can't do anything other than we have a crossbow and a sword.
I tell you what, bro, we're living it right now. The fucking Dems, bro, they're trying to take your guns.
They want to take our guns.
To take them all. And I ran.
False.
I ran.
No one gives a shit.
But I ran, bro. Her emails.
Yeah. Yeah, the emails, man.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it, man.
That's fine.
I've been watching the news all day, and it's just pissing me off.
Let's go to our Twitter.
Let's do it.
Are we ready for Twitter? Do we have something else?
No, I don't think so. I think we established the sun.
The sun is the greatest weapon against
fucking
zombies.
G, and would take care of all of it for us.
All right, so our poll today was, what would you do in the event of zombies? And so I said we're talking about all our zombie scenarios. Our choices for the poll were run and hide, hunker down, fight, or other.
Wait.
Fight
in all capital letters too.
Yeah, fight and 4 exclamations. Like you really got to be.
You really got to do it.
Which is good because it got 53% of the vote. A lot of people think that they can fight zombies. Which I'm gonna guess out of that 53%, like 6% of those people could actually fight zombies.
If that, maybe.
Yeah, just use the sun, people.
Sun.
You don't need to fight them. Hunker down got 32%, run and hide got 11%, and other with 4%. So our friend Colby Mack at Colby Told Me says, after years of consuming movies and TV, I believe I'm well equipped to fuck every zombie up in my wake. I am one with the bat, bow staff, sword, and a whole lot more. Stay close to the coast, hunt for food in the day, bunker down at night. Zombies don't want none of me.
Don't listen to him though.
Like, hunt for food.
He was so mean
like
to me.
Fucking. He was mean to
So
Nick on
mean,
Twitter,
guys.
but I mean, Nick deserved it. He likes the other guys.
The other guys is great, but Colby's got the right
It's
idea,
not.
dude. That's pretty much word for word what I would
I
do.
mean, you don't need to hunt for food, man. Restaurants they'll be open. Like the zombie, there's not gonna be that many zombies. Don't worry
Fucking
about it.
zombies, bro. I'm hitting the Chili's.
So the podcast fanatic blog, they're on the right track here. Honestly, zombies always seem kind of slow. Nothing a good baseball bat can't handle. Maybe a sword to cut some heads off.
I love the reply to that from Tara Lacey.
Did you watch World War Z?
No, I did watch World War Z, but Tara Lacey. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Oh, sorry, I was dumb. I'm saying I hadn't pulled it up. Here it is. But yeah, she actually followed me. Speaking of, Trump.
Yeah, big Trump
Yeah.
supporter. Good for you.
I mean, one example was a great response by Podcast Fanatic Blog. I applaud you, sir.
Yeah.
My dad.
And then we had Rob at Heat Override. These zombies wouldn't want me to bring the pain. Heads would be rolling and bodies severed as I swung my double hatchets. They would be mumbling to the zombie god to save them. No one would show up. Just more of my axes. Like, hatchets are a bad plan, dude. You got like 6 inches of reach. You're gonna get bit. I'm sorry.
Unless they're battle axes.
He said hatchets.
That's true.
He's swung double hatchets.
There's
So he's
Big
going
hatchets
like
out there.
the Patriot style here.
I mean, Mel Gibson did it.
Those weren't zombies. Those were people.
They're zombies now.
And they didn't know he
They're
was
zombies
there.
now.
They didn't know he was there. He had the element of surprise. This dude's like saying, I'll stand out in an open field with my hatchets.
Yeah.
You can only throw them 2 at a
Start
time. And then you got to go retrieve
Whirlwinding
them.
around.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with you there, Rob. Then we had Jennifer from the Fading Memories podcast at Jennifer_Fink. Feed them the brains of Trump supporters. But that would require me to kill, so maybe hunker down and hope the idiots go first. I mean, I'm with you there.
That was a good burn.
We're getting a little political. Yeah, we're getting a little
That's
political.
all right,
here.
though, because zombies go hand in hand with politics.
Obviously. I never knew. I never realized that we missed that
Apparently.
correlation. Making good spaghetti at mgoodspaghetti. Like some spaghetti. Gonna open their profile now. They just said rule number 1, cardio from Zombieland. So their answer is definitely run.
I think that's a great point. If there's zombies chasing me, I'm going to get really fast, really quick. I'm going to drop about 35 pounds, and we're going to go. It's going to be gone. I'm going to be gone.
So apparently Making Good Spaghetti is a podcast by Alex and David that know the most. This is the Making Good Spaghetti. I'm going to have to listen to them now because I just want to know. Like, are they making spaghetti on every podcast? Are they doing other things and just have a weird name? Like, I need to know. Guys,
Please
hit me
do.
up.
I want to know, guys.
I need to understand.
Seriously.
I mean, I'll listen to, but I'm super intrigued.
Because I make good spaghetti. So, I mean, question answer.
Spaghetti's not that hard. Oh, Tara Lacey followed me too. That probably won't last
Probably
long after this
not.
episode comes out.
Her last comment at the end. I love it.
I was just going to skip it because I don't agree with her as a person.
Well, we don't discriminate, bro.
Well, but see, if I didn't say it, nobody would even know that it was there.
Well, people know.
All right. I'll get to it. She says, run and hide, duh. WTF else are you going to do? Didn't go to school for this. So I'm not sure if she's saying she didn't go to school for killing zombies, so like she doesn't know how, or she went to school and this isn't she went to school so she doesn't have to fight zombies.
She went to school. She's important. But zombie studying
Obviously
was not a part of it. Not in her curriculum.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. There's probably a class. Like, you probably could have taken a class.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, my college had a class on the dumbest shit ever, dude. They had one about Naruto.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like a great class.
I don't even know what it was about. It was just a Naruto class that I heard a lot of people talking. It was right next to my creative fiction class. So it was just like you'd hear all those kids talking. It's like, fuck, you have to watch cartoons and shit the whole time. This is cool.
We got a last minute comment in here from @DanBlue528. A lot of Dan Blues out there. At least 528 of them. Between what I have for self-defense and self-reliance, plus my stored food, I'm hunkering down with my close family and friends and running out. I mean, that's a good plan.
We found one.
Because like we've said, the sun is going to take them out pretty quickly. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Dan Explorer.
Like, you're good. Yeah. I got you, Dan. Like, let the sun and the wind do their job. It'll be
That's
fine.
not what he's talking about.
You think these zombies are going to like survive a tornado? Come on now.
When was the last time you saw a tornado
No way.
touchdown?
Like literally just 3 days ago.
No shit. I'm sorry.
Bang.
Damn.
Didn't affect me.
I'm right up in
anyway,
Tornado Alley.
It happened. Yeah. And that we had that picture of the guy mowing his lawn in the tornado. That was like last year, right? Maybe the year
You
before.
Florida people are wild. Tell you what, fucking wild.
I don't want to be a Florida person.
Don't want to be an Illinois person either. Yeah, and that's where we're gonna end it, guys. Florida and Illinois suck.
That's all we've got for today.
Don't live here.
Maybe we'll just switch. Yeah.
I'm game, dude. Florida's dope.
Yeah. 98 degrees every day. That's great.
Fuck, dude. It was 90 degrees today with 100% humidity.
Yeah, but that happens like once a summer. It's like that every day for 6 months.
It happens more than once a summer. I tell you that much right now. But yeah, not as nearly as much as Florida.
Well, you're in the flat space too. Like you're right in the middle of the plains and shit where there's nothing around
nothing
you.
but bugs.
That's rough.
No wind. Ugh.
Yeah, it's rough. All right,
zombies, guys, get us on.
Stay inside. The sun will get.
Apparently, I'm kind of with Calvin on this one now, bastard.
All right.
So convincing.
Convince somebody to change their opinion.
But what's terrible, and I'll say it out loud, I've never thought about the sun actually being a problem for zombies. Never thought about it.
That's because you have skin. You're not decomposing. You're fine.
Shh.
These zombies, they don't have that luxury.
Dude, I'm outside for 3 hours and I turn into a tomato.
See, there you go. Think of somebody with no blood or antibodies or UV protection of any sort. Like, you think they're stopping to put on sunscreen?
A dried tomato. Beef jerky zombies.
Yeah. All right. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at APA something and at alone_podcast. Check us out on our website at podcastaboutsomething.com. There are all kinds of cool stuff there. We have a Patreon page that there's a link for. We have a donate button that there's a link for. We have a merch store that there's a link for. I don't feel like listing them all out, but go to the website. You'll find everything there.
It's a pretty dope website, guys.
I mean, it's a website.
And it's a website.
I don't know that it's dope. Like, there's better websites out there, but
ours is cool enough. Plus, it has all that great content that you guys can access.
Yes. All that stuff is there. Thank you for listening, and always leave reviews and ratings and things like that on iTunes or whatever platform you're listening on. And as always, thank you to those cats for providing the music for a podcast about something.
And you guys stay sassy.
Stay classy.